Hello and welcome. I'm Melinda Akinwami. Tonight, House of Representatives ask executive to urgently dialogue with the Islamic movement in Nigeria to resolve their grievances amicably as Shiite members continue protests in the nation's capital, Abuja. President of the Senate, Ahmed Lawan, addresses concerns over delay in the formation of federal cabinet, says President Buhari could give list of ministers to the Senate this week. The National Judicial Commission recommends Acting Chief Justice of Nigeria, Tanko Muhammad, to President Buhari for appointment as substantive CJN. And row over leaked emails criticizing President Donald Trump's administration takes new dimension as UK ambassador to the country, Sir Kim Dorothy, resigns.
On business news tonight, Nigeria's public debt profile rises by 2.3% to nearly 25 trillion naira in the first quarter of 2019.
And in sports news, Nigeria's Super Eagles qualify for the semi-finals of the Africa Cup of Nations in Egypt.
And from Abuja, Vice President Yemi Osinbajo challenges the military to fight and defeat ideologies that fuel anarchy and insecurity in the country.
The House of Representatives has asked the executive to urgently engage with the Islamic movement in Nigeria in order to amicably resolve and address their grievances. The House considered the matter in plenary as a matter of urgent public importance following the invasion of the National Assembly the day before by members of the group. The lawmakers also expressed concern about what they described as the porous nature of the National Assembly. Our correspondent, Mariela Sisi, has the rest of the story.
These are some of the destructions left behind after members of the Islamic movement of Nigeria stormed the National Assembly on Tuesday. Some security officers were also injured.
Again, Mr. Speaker.
Resuming plenary on Wednesday, lawmakers in the House of Representatives consider the matter as a motion of urgent national importance.
The House is aware that yesterday's invasion by the Shiite group led to physical encounter between the group and the security agencies assigned to protect the lives and properties of people in National Assembly.
The motion also draws attention to the porous security of the National Assembly complex and calls for a review. In the debate that follows, lawmakers consider the matter from different perspectives.
It's a negative advancement to the trend that we had been seeing in their conduct in the protests before now.
These people should be heard. We should listen to them. What are they saying? What are their grievances? After hearing from them, at least we'll be able to provide alternative solution on how to approach the matter amicably.
Nigerians every day, almost every week, are threatened by this movement. And so our discussion here should be seen towards incorporating the concerns of Nigerians. Let it not be that it was only yesterday that the National Assembly was threatened and we have reason to act, and we are acting to be to our own self-preservation or interest.
The matter is then put to a vote.
Those in support of the motion as amended, please say aye. Those against, please say nay. The ayes have it.
The position of the House is expected to help address the continuous confrontation between the Islamic movement of Nigeria and the federal government. Lanre Lasisi, Channels Television News.
Meanwhile, the Islamic movement of Nigeria continued their protest in Abuja today, marching through streets in parts of the federal capital. They are claiming that hired thugs suspected to be policemen were responsible for the vandalism of cars and property during the group's procession to the National Assembly. The spokesperson for the Shiite Academic Forum, Mr. Abdullahi Musa, told Channels Television that 2 of their members were killed during the incident. Mr. Musa insists that the group has never attacked the police since they began their processions over a year ago.
Police are not behind the detention of our leader. How do you expect us to attack police? We know the people that are behind the detention of our leader. We know the people that are behind the killing of our brothers and sisters. So if there is anything, it should be meted on those people, not innocent police officers. So the police and the public should know that we have no intention of attacking any police, and we have never attacked any police, and we will never attack any police officer. But the people that vandalize vehicle and property within the National Assembly are security officers in Mufti. Take it from me. July 2018, the former Commissioner of Police, FCT Commissioner of Police, in person of Sadiq Bello, has this to say. He said it, that they have their people in Mufti beside our protest always whenever we comes out. So since last week, they have been bringing these people, they are looking for a way of justification to attack the protesters. They couldn't get it. It was yesterday, and even yesterday they couldn't get it until they threw tear gas. They want to use tear gas to create an avenue for those hoodlums to attack them so that they will justify what they are doing. They killed 2 people. We have Mahmoud Umar Sakafa from Suleja was mercilessly killed yesterday. And Jafar Mikael from Latvia, Nasarawa State, was killed also yesterday, instantly.
That claim by the Shiite leadership that the attacks on the National Assembly were carried out by police personnel have been dismissed by the Inspector General of Police. Mr. Mohammed Adamu, who visited the injured police officers today, explained that 40 Shiites involved in the invasion have been arrested. The police boss says 5 injured officers receiving treatment at the trauma center of the National Hospital in Abuja are getting better, and that all their medical bills will be paid for by the police force. He says investigations are still ongoing and the perpetrators of the violence will be brought to justice.
What happened at the cost of protecting our citizens and giving rooms for people to express themselves, a group of people went overboard and attacked police officers at the cost of performing their duties, and you see the result. Our officers have been shot. I've just seen them. They are carrying bullet wounds, and some were attacked with clubs and stones. We've shown restraint in terms of not going the same way these protesters went, but it's an act that is not tolerated. It's an act that will never take it again. And the right to express yourself does not mean the right to trample on other people's rights to the extent of causing a lot of havoc and sufferance to other people. Those people who've arrested among them will make sure they are prosecuted, and those that are yet to be arrested will go after them and make sure that we'll get them arrested and justice is done.
To other stories now. Fillers coming from the Senate President may probably douse the controversy created by the President's delay in sending the list of his ministerial nominees to the National Assembly. Senator Ahmed Lawan told lawmakers at plenary today that President Muhammadu Buhari could submit the list to the Red Chamber this week. According to the Senate President, the executive arm has been working to ensure that the list is ready before the senators proceed on their annual 2-month recess. He was responding to a point of order by Senator Basi Akpan.
Distinguished colleagues, I think this is to inform this Senate that the executive arm of government is working very hard to get the list of ministerial nominees to the Senate. And I can imagine that before this week runs out, we could get the list. But I want to assure you that once we get the list, every senator here has shown and expressed the desire to stay long enough to screen and confirm the ministerial nominees in the interest of this country, for the country to be taken to the next level. Thank you very much.
There was a mild drama today at the Presidential Election Petitions Tribunal as the presidential candidate of the People's Democratic Movement and the party's national chairman announced separate appearances on behalf of their party. Now, besides announcing his appearance, the national chairman of the PDM also informed the tribunal through his lawyer that he had filed a motion on behalf of his party to discontinue the petition against the election of President Buhari. Our correspondent Amaka Okafo has this report.
Parties awaiting the commencement of the day's sitting at the Presidential Election Tribunal. In court are the leaders of the All Progressive Congress and executives of the People's Democratic Movement, including the presidential candidate of the party, Mr. Amin Chihabu, and the national chairman of the party, Mr. Frank Igwebike. The business of the sitting was for the tribunal to deliver the pre-trial report, which will pave way for the hearing of the main petition. However, when the presidential candidate of the PDM, Mr. Abu Haminchi, announced appearance on behalf of himself and the party, the national chairman of the party, Mr. Frank Igwebike, also announced appearance for the party and went on to ask that his party be withdrawn as a party in the petition. Mr. Igwebike's counsel, Mr. Morrison Onunu, informed the tribunal that he had filed a motion to that effect and that the said motion had been responded to by counsel to the presidential candidate. Hence, he will require time to respond. The chairman of the tribunal agreed to his request and then adjourned the sitting to July 18, 2019. In a short ruling, the chairman of the tribunal, Justice Muhammad Garba, explained that even though the sitting was for the delivery of the pre-trial report, the tribunal has no choice than to extend the pre-trial session to accommodate the fresh application by the chairman of the PDM. Outside the tribunal, both parties comment on the day's proceedings.
Since the petition in this matter was filed in March, there has been no meeting of the People's Democratic Movement for the purpose of taking any decision in relation to this petition. And even if they did, by the decision of this court in the case of Hope Democratic Party, they cannot withdraw from this petition.
The party, in its wisdom, reviewed the entirety of the petition and resolved and took the decision to withdraw as a petitioner. It doesn't affect the petition or the first petitioner. He can go on with his petition.
When both parties return on the next adjourned date, which is July the 18th, 2019, it is expected that they will try to convince the tribunal whether the PDM should remain a party in the petition or not. Amaka Okafo, Channels Television News.
Staying with legal matters, the National Judicial Council has recommended the appointment of Justice Tanko Muhammad, the acting Chief Justice of Nigeria, as the substantive Chief Justice of Nigeria. It's a decision taken by the Council today after it rose from an emergency meeting initially presided over by Justice Umaru Abdullahi. The Council considered and approved the recommendation of its interview committee that screened the two candidates presented by the Federal Judicial Council for appointment as CJN. Subsequently, the plenary of the meeting, presided over by the acting CJN, recommended the appointment of 8 successful candidates as chief judges and grand qadis to the governors of Sokoto, Lagos, Anambra, Ebonyi, Niger, Taraba, Kano, and Jigawa states. Now recommended for appointment as chief judges are Justice Muhammad Sifawa for Sokoto State, Justice Kazim Alogba for Lagos State, Justice Ijem Onwamibu for Anambra State, and Justice Anselm Wigwe for Ebonyi State. The Council also recommended Justice Aliu Mayaki for appointment as Chief Judge of Niger State, Justice Philbos Andor as Chief Judge of Taraba State, as well as Honorable Kadi Yakasai as Grand Kadi of the Sharia Court of the Appeal Court in Kano, and Honorable Kadi Isa Gansa as the Grand Kadi of the Jigawa Sharia Court of Appeal. Justice Muhammad is to be sworn in after the approval of the President and the confirmation by the Senate, while the newly appointed heads of court will be sworn in after the approval of their respective state governors and confirmation by the state houses of assembly. In part 2, after the break, Senate asked the presidency to issue travel alerts to Nigerian travelers to South Africa following the death of Elizabeth Ndubisi Chukwu and other Nigerians in that country. Stay with us.